Cockerel, he's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel, leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions leak, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around, always talking Spurs wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel, he's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong every time I play along? Tell, Cockerel, the show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel, the show is so chill, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel.
Good morning, everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you may be watching from in the world. Today's match day. Today is match day, so welcome to everyone. And I hope everyone's well. God, the world's gone mad, hasn't it? It's gone. If the world wasn't mad the day before yesterday, it's got even madder as from yesterday. Not going to talk politics on here, but I certainly send out my prayers to all those affected in the region where all this absolute madness is going on, and I hope that these things can resolve themselves pretty quickly. Although saying that, in Ukraine, that war's been going now for 4 years. So yeah, I just wish everybody the very best. Um, all civilian life, um, everyone defending what they believe is right in there for their nations. I just hope everyone is well, and that this can come to some sort of a constructive end before it gets any worse. Um, and apart from that, it's a good evening to Chang. It's been a while. It's been a while. I'm not sure whether you've seen any of these shows since I've come back in the last 2 weeks, but I took a period off because I had to for certain reasons. But I'm back now, and obviously last weekend I was at the match. Last weekend at the yeah, that match, and therefore there's no way if I'm at a match on a Sunday that I can do a show in the morning. However, today's an away game, and because it's slightly later, I'm able to pick up the reins from where we'd left off, and I'm glad to have you back on, Chang. Tell everyone how you are.
Well, thank you so very much for having me back, Jose. First and foremost, I got to say that it's great to be back. This is episode 30 of Jose and Chang, a long awaited episode. And if I have to be perfectly honest, a very eagerly awaited episode as well. The Thomas Frank reign, however short it was, it's finally over. We are now with a new interim manager in the form of Igor Tudor, the Croatian, who's taken over slightly over a week ago, I believe, or just over a fortnight ago, at the end of or just before the North London Derby, should I say? And absolutely looking forward to see what he can bring to the team. Although I think we might have some time to go over last Sunday's North London Derby if we have time permitting to do so, which we might even discuss a bit about the match and how Igor Tudor has taken to the team, or rather how the team has taken to him, his training methods and also his tactics. But what can I say? Everything that's going on in the world right now, not only in Britain or the UK or in England, uh, over here in Southeast Asia, down under in Australia, what happens just before Christmas or around Christmas at Bondi Beach and wherever any kind of nastiness is happening. I wish everyone all the very best. I wish everyone be safe, be well, and this also puts into perspective how this this that we are discussing here, football or sports or entertainment in general. This is just an escapism for most of us, but we try our utmost best to bring you some levity in trying times. And without going on too much, without further ado, straight back to you, Jose.
Yeah, so let's say hello to a few people. First one in this morning was um, Spurs diehards. Oh, it's Adrian. I wasn't too sure who it was. It's Adrian that's come in this morning, and he's saying, "Good morning, Jose Chang et al." Good morning, Adrian. I hope you're well. You've been very lucky, Adrian. You'll see why in a second. Um, Barbaric. Good morning, Barbaric. I hope you are well. Says, "Good morning, gents. 3 points are coming home today. Come on, you Spurs." Barbaric, we'll get into it, and we certainly hope so. I mean, my my description for the show just said we take a look at what remains at every game, as every game is pivotal until we either achieve Premiership status or fall through the trap door. So, Barbaric, I really hope that you are right. Things have to change. Shemtam, another person who I can shout out in a second, says, "Morning, boss man Jose and the youngest looking old man, Mr. Changa Chang. Hope you're both doing well today." Yes, we are, Shem. Nice to see you. And Adrian then says, "Igor is to do." And then I've gifted 5 channel memberships. Gifted 5 channel memberships. And these have gone to Shemtam, has received one. Adrian has received one. Smithy has received one. Actually, it's weird because when you start getting more numbers, you don't recognise some of the names, but these 5 I do. Um, Cam Shanks has also received one, and Johnny Tottenham has received one. So welcome to you 5, whether you've been renewed or whether it's the first time you're getting them, but welcome all. You have got. Adrian says, "Cheers, Jose, for the membership." No worries. And again, he says, "Tudor is to do." And look who it is. Look who's appeared. Haven't seen him for a while. It's Destiny 5. Celebrates 30 months of membership. Thank you very much, Destiny. Says, "Big up, boss man Jose. Come on, you Spurs." Destiny, I haven't seen you in a bit. I hope you are really, really well, mate. You and the family. Um, Obviously, I think you're still getting over to Tottenham. I go. So, I've met quite a few people, I will say, Chang, this year going to Spurs games. And I hope to meet many more. So yeah, if people want to meet up, I'm always happy to meet up. I don't generally drink, so I might meet up. I might have a bite to eat. I don't generally drink, but I'll always have a bite to eat with someone, or I go and see people, but I don't drink. I have my bottle of water with me, and whilst they're drinking, I have my sips of water. And Shemtam says, "Thanks, Mr. Bossman." No, you're more than welcome, Shem. Shem, predictions back tomorrow, mate. The predictions for next week are tomorrow, so look out for the show tomorrow, Shem. But no, welcome back on board. Anyway, that's saying hello to a fair few people. Chang, I'll let you carry on, sir. Where are we? Where are we?
So let's take into stock everything that's happened now since the last time we did Jose and Chang. I think it was just after the New Year, or was it just before the New Year? It's been so long now.
It would have
All
been
I can
before my
say,
last show that I did was on New Year's. Sorry, it was Christmas Eve, but that would have been a different show. It wouldn't have been our show. Our show would have been on Sundays preceding the Christmas Eve. So it's a fair while ago since we last did it.
and having said that, I've just checked. You are totally right. This is actually the first show we're doing in the new calendar year, 2026. I hope that this first show would signify our first league win of the same calendar year because sadly, we haven't had a single league win in 2 months now. We are now into March, so we have no league wins for January and February of 2026. Fingers crossed, Jose, that today all that changes. The trajectory in the league table as well as our fortunes in the Champions League. Now that the quarter finalists, or rather the last 16, our opponents for the last 16 has all been confirmed. Atletico Madrid, we will play away first sometime in March, I think,
The 10th,
before they begin. Oh, the 10th of, yep, thank you
10th,
so much.
10th is away, and then we're home on the 18th.
Very good. So that's something to look forward to. Hopefully by the 18th, we will have something to look forward to if the away results favor us or if we don't fall too far behind in the away game in Madrid. There'll be something to look forward to. But what can I say? Two things before we start previewing Fulham. First and foremost, Igor Tudor, breath of fresh air, it's got to be said. It's so refreshing to hear someone who just comes straight out flying and lays into the problems that we have at the club, be it the ownership, be it the players, the morale, the attitude, even the approach. And I think I really do hope that if there's one thing I really hope Igor Tudor brings to this team from now to the end of the season is a change or a shift in our mentality. The attitude and the approach to match days and game days have to be different. And I thought I saw a little bit of that. It's got to be said. To be very honest, I mean, just look at Kolo Muani. How many games? How many games has Kolo Muani played under Thomas Frank since his loan move from PSG? Not a single premiership goal. He very nearly got two in one North London derby. However, the second goal was ruled out for a foul on Gabriel. I'm not even going to go into that. I think much too much has been said about that on social media or by the pundits alike. All I'll say is it was very, very soft, and I think we were hard done. But make no mistake, even though if we had pulled it back at 2-2 all, I think it would be a very, very big ask for us to hold on to the point, which is something that Igor Tudor has to work on. But it's refreshing to see us actually giving our opponents a run for their money, be it the league leaders, the current league leaders, whom themselves were packed back by Wolverhampton Wanderers the week before by 2 goals apiece. And I really thought that would have given us some impetus to actually go for it, but unfortunately, they were far too good for us, which you got to tip your hat off to them. They are rightly league leaders for a good purpose. But enough about the North London derby. What's done is done. We lost that North London derby by 4 goals to 1. And today, we are now facing Fulham, which is the second of 3 consecutive London derbies. The next one being Palace after this, but I'm not even going to go into Palace. I will fully focus what's going to happen later at 4 p.m. Local British time at Craven Cottage by the Thames. And
No,
I really am.
we kick off at 2 o'clock today.
Oh, 2 o'clock. Okay, so I apologize. So it's not a 4 p.m. kickoff. It's a
No,
2 p.m.
it's
kickoff.
earlier. Yeah, it's earlier today. It's 2 o'clock.
Very good, thankfully, because honestly, I'm getting rather. I mean, I have to be very honest with you, Jose. All these games beyond midnight here in Asia are a bit too much for me. So a 2 p.m. kickoff might just be able. I might just be able to sneak in a first half to see how we fare in the first half. If things aren't going our way, then maybe I'll shut off by 11 p.m. Before the commencement of the second half. But I mean, no, you laugh all you want. I mean, I'll be perfectly honest here. Our results haven't been too much to shout about. Even the performances, let alone the results, the only silver lining is us somehow miraculously finishing fourth in the Champions League table, with a golden glove to spare for Vicario. But that's that's all consigned to the history books now. We look forward to the first away leg at Madrid, and more importantly, the kickoff later at Craven Cottage at 2 p.m., where I'm hoping for more of the same from last Sunday, as well as welcome returns, very welcome returns to both Pedro Porro, and I believe Kevin Denso. Both of them should be fit and ready for later this afternoon. I'm not sure if Mickey Van der Ven has recovered from his strained finger, if what I remember correctly, reading about him. But I think we should have enough to field a full strength squad, barring, of course, long term injuries and some suspensions, especially to much missed Cuti Romero. Before we get to the actual preview, Jose, I'd like to just throw this out there to everyone in the chat or anyone who's listening in right now. What are their expectations for today's London Derby against Fulham? And straight back to you, Jose, if you yourself have anything to weigh in on today's London Derby.
Well, now I'm going to catch up with the chat. I've got Eltel here, who it's not me. It's he's an Everton supporter. He's called Eltel on the Banks. He's a Royal Blue Mersey, so he's an Everton supporter. Comes into my chat, always very good. Says tough game tonight with Spurs. Good luck, hard game at Fulham. You can beat them. Their defence not that good. We beat them, and we're Everton. He says. Everton got a top result yesterday in beating Newcastle away 3-2. So well done to you Blues for your result yesterday. I would take a bit of your result yesterday, Eltel, and if we could win 3-2 today, I'd be over the moon. I'd be happy to win 1-0, but 3-2 would be absolutely impressive because the one thing that we've lacked is goals. Barbaric says to you, Chang has done a frank on us and fetched his tactics boards for the stream. And Destiny says, yeah, I'm good, thanks. Hope you and the family well. Sounds good. Hopefully Sunday soon. Yeah, no worries whatsoever. Destiny says it's 2-1 to Spurs today. And just a harmless potato says, hello, all. Big up Jose and Mr. Chang. Come on, you Spurs. Just a harmless potato. I hope you're well. It's been a while since I saw you, so I hope you are well, sir. Chang, for me, right, I hear what you say, and it's very true. Watching football on television and being at the stadium are two totally different things. At the stadium, you can see things that you wouldn't generally see on the television, and I must say, Moani just doesn't do it for me. Just doesn't do it. Yeah, I know he scored the other day, and people are saying that they thought Moani played well. Moani was the only outlet we had. We just kept pumping the ball up to Moani. Whack, ball up to Moani, and we expected Moani to fight against Saliba, fight against Gabriel, and at times he was fighting against Hincapie because Timber seemed to be. So Arsenal in possession would keep three at the back, and one of their fullbacks would progress up the pitch, and it seemed to be Timber that progressed up the pitch. So basically, Moani was on his own against three defenders all the time, and all they kept doing was just pumping the ball up to him. But I'm not really sold on Moani. If Tudor does play this fabled 3-5-2 system, I would like to see two up front. I would like to see us play with some intent and two up front. The one thing that's alarming for me throughout the whole of this season, going to watch Tottenham, is the lack of creativity. That has been the biggest alarming thing for me. Xavi Simons gets the ball, and Xavi Simons has grown on me. Xavi Simons has got much, much better. He's grown on me. Um, he looks like he's put a bit of bulk on, right? He's put a bit of muscle. He's put a bit of bulk on, and what he does, he gets the ball and he travels up the pitch. But he travels up the pitch and he runs into a blind alley or a brick wall because he runs up the pitch, and then all of a sudden, by the time you're running with the ball, you've got people chasing you from behind, and then people from the sides come into you. So in the end, you've got 3 or 4 players chasing you and around you. So you've drawn in the 2, 3, 4 players. So therefore, you'd think that that's created space on the pitch for others, and the pass should then be found. I can't ever see anyone with him. He's running through on his own, and he's got no support. So that's my biggest concern at the moment, is that I'm not saying that players don't try, but when you've got no one supporting up front, we need to have players. You only score goals if you're in dangerous positions, and in dangerous positions means you have to be in that last third of the pitch. That's the only way you're going to score goals. You're not going to score many goals from the halfway line, and you're not going to score many goals from our own defence. So it means you need players up top, and that's been one of the biggest concerns that I've had all season, is um, the play up top, and then also the patterns of play. Um, and I've got Destiny. Destiny goes to the games as well, so Destiny will be able to say it as well. But you know, it's the patterns of play. I can't see what our attacking intent is. I can't see what we're trying to do. And this was under Thomas Frank as well. I couldn't see what we were trying to do. With Ange, whether you liked Ange or hated Ange, ball went out one side on the wing, on the wide forward. You know that the other wide forward or people are piling into the box, and some of them will get at the back post. You knew what we were doing, right? And sometimes you think that we tried to walk the ball into the net the way that we played the football, because it was the same patterns of play. But then patterns of play we scored goals from. Defensively, we weren't that good because we conceded a lot last year, but we would score goals. This year, I struggle to see where the goals are coming from. And now that we have, touch wood, you're quite right. We've got some players coming back in a defensive capacity today, but it now means that we should have Solanke nearer to 100% because he's been injured for a while, but nearer to 100%. You've got Moani, who hasn't been injured at the moment, or hasn't been injured recently, and you've got Richarlison, who's come back. Now, so that means you've got 3 strikers, if you like, or 3 attacking players that you can pick from. Throw into the mix that you got Matty Tell as well. So you've got 4 players to pick from. So we should have attacking intent. Now, I'm not going to go on too much because if I did, I'll be going. And you said you wanted to rant this morning or this evening at your time. So I'm going to let you rant. But let me just say hello to a few people and then you can rant away and pick up on whatever I've said. Ronnie says, hello, Jose, Mr. Chang. Another defeat today. Sorry to say. Ronnie, keep the faith. Keep the faith, Ronnie. Barbaric has come in and says, I'm not bothered about the pre-performance. I just want to see our players fight for the badge and put a shift in. That is exactly what I'm talking about, Barbaric. That's exactly what I'm talking about being at the games. Destiny says, Saliba fouled Moani all game, pulled his shirt constantly. I agree, he's not the greatest, but the refs allow Arsenal to get away with cheating. Like you said, we isolated him. He never stood a chance. And Dave Dan Davenport, good. Of course, it's been a while. This is a name that I do remember from the past. Dan, I hope you and the family are well. Says, hey, Jose and Chang, the Malaysian lad. At moment, we have no fight. Chew the wrong choice for caretaker role. They should have got Pochin as a caretaker as well as him coaching the USA. Then give him the permanent job. I just think that would have cost so much money. And not many clubs in the world would have paid out. I don't think would have paid out the £21 million it would have to get him out of his contract and get him to do all this stuff. That's a hell of a lot of money when you've paid Frank off, I don't know, 15 million to him and his staff. That becomes like a signing one player in itself, getting rid of one manager and bringing another manager in. But I do understand the point that you've put across. Chang, over to you, my friend. Over to you.
So there were some points which you mentioned just before you handed back over to me, which I'm going to touch on. It's not actually a rant per se, but there's a lot to be said about the amounts that we've paid out in compensation and also in uh, sort of not a breakage, sort of like a parting ways sort of compensation for managers over the past 4 or 5 years. You name them, it could be Conte, Nuno, Big Ange, and now Thomas Frank. How much are we actually spending on paying these managers before they have been given a boot, and how much in compensation we are paying? It just makes absolutely no sense why we can't get a proper manager, someone like a Pochettino, a long-term manager who knows the club from the beginning and actually invest. And then this actually goes all the way back to all those seasons when he was still with us. Why didn't we back him for 18 months? 18 months without a single signing. And now, however many years later, since we parted ways with him, we are looking very, very closely at bringing him back. I think it's a very, very good likelihood that we will bring him once the World Cup in Americas is over. But
So can I just say, Chang, can I just ask you, is that the feeling that you have,
yes,
or are you reading?
100%.
Okay, so what I'm going to say to you, Chang, right? Because I need to ask you. So I was going to bring this
Sure.
point up. I was going to bring this
Okay.
point up, but for a different reason, right?
Okay.
So 15 and 20 years ago, Chang, we didn't have social media.
Mm-hmm.
So the discussions we would have, if we didn't have all this that we've got now, 15, 20 years ago with you, I would be calling you and we'd have this conversation over the phone. Yeah. And the conversation
Or
would be between you and I. Yeah.
okay.
If you were one of my circle of friends that lived in this country, then
Mm-hmm.
we might be having this chat down the pub or
Yep.
in the cafe over breakfast or something, you know.
Okay.
But and then the conversation would be me and you, or a group of us. If it was local, if it was over the phone, it'd be just me and you, and we would have that conversation and we would give each other opinions on what our thoughts were.
Okay.
Now I find, I'm not you, but I'm just finding in general that a lot of people are swayed by what they read on social media. Do I believe
Yes, I do
do I
agree.
do I believe that Poch is coming in the summer? No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't know. To be honest, I don't know who is coming in the summer because I'm not sure whether my club have got the balls to know what they're doing anyway. Because
Yep.
apparently, if I believe social media, there's talk that Langer's going, that Vinay Venkatesham is
Nice.
going. You know, there's talks about they don't want to sell the club. There's talks about people have got the money to buy the club. There's so much talk, and the talk is all because of speculation that's put out there on social media. So for me personally, the reason why I asked this, I was going to ask it for a different reason, but because you started talking about Poch, I'm just like, do you honestly believe that Poch is coming? And that's your personal opinion. How you've got there, I don't know, but that's your personal opinion. Because my personal opinion is, with so much that's put into social media nowadays, I
Mhm.
don't know, and I really don't know. I don't know what Tottenham are going to do. I don't know. I know what I'd like them to do, but I actually do not have a clue with what they're going to do. Sorry, back to you, mate.
Okay. No, I perfectly see where you're coming from. And what I'm speculating, or rather, what I'm hoping for, is not actually speculation, but what my gut feel tells me is going to happen now that we've seen so many managers since Pochettino was given a boots from Ryan Mason to Jose, and then Jose back to Ryan Mason temporarily, and then he was over to Nuno. Nuno was very, very short term, one of the shortest we've ever had before it then went over to Conte. Conte then walked after the Wolves game. It was Stellini for a short while before Stellini departed. Then we had Big Ange, which I thought was very miraculous how he even got a Europa League. And sad to say, because the league form was almost irreparable to the point where not even the Europa League could have saved his job. Then we were languishing with Thomas Frank until now. We've come back to Igor Tudor, and the only way I see us doing any sort of good right now is to hopefully come full circle and go back to Pochettino, much the same way Chelsea went full circle themselves and went back to Jose for a second spell, where I'm actually hoping, and this is this is also very speculative on my part, but the only one who actually understands our DNA, understands what the fan wants, understand how he can get a tune maybe out of the Argentinians that we still have in the club, as well as maybe a few other European players, the likes of Mickey van der Ven and Xavi Simons, as you mentioned earlier, whom I think has yet to show his full potential at Spurs. And hopefully, I mean, you never know, if there was one manager whom would have the charisma and the pull to actually convince Harry Kane to come back to N17 from the Bundesliga, I would be pinning my hopes on Pochettino to be that one manager who would be the one to convince Harry Kane to come back. Although why he would ever want to come back, given the way our fan base have been so reactive and so quick to point the finger and even throw insults and abuse to the likes of Big Ange and also Thomas Frank the past couple of years. That is something else to be regarded with. But all in all, my final say on Pochettino coming back, if there were one manager that I would like to come back, it will be Pochettino. Although, and I'm going to say this in as serious a tone as possible, if I were related to Pochettino, or if I had close relations to him, or if he were uh, close and dear to me, I would advise him against coming back, for the simple fact that knowing this fan base, knowing how we ourselves have been giving him stick before he was shown the exit in favor of Jose. I would actually advise him against coming back, because I think it would just break my heart to see him come back and not be able to not be given the same amount of patience and understanding as I was hoping for the likes of Ange Postecoglou and Thomas Frank. And until such time that we actually see some change, and not just change in management or change in personnel or the players, actual change from top to bottom at this club, be it the Lewis family, be it Langer or Vinay or any of the backroom, or not backroom staff, the directorial board. We need serious change. Even the wage structure, which from what I'm reading, if I'm reading it correctly on social media, and also on chat groups, if the social media, if what is to be believed, that we are going to rip up our wage structure in favor of something more tangible that would entice top players to sign for us, then maybe there is something to look into. But until such time, Jose, the only way I can actually see us getting top managers with top players and actually getting top results, not only in the league but on all fronts, be it the League Cups and the FA Cups and in Europe in general, if something actually changed, something drastic. I don't know where it's going to begin. I don't know where or when this is going to begin. I really honestly thought that it was going to start with Levy's departure. Unfortunately, now, after how many months he's gone, and you actually see how much good he did. I can't believe I'm actually saying this, but when he was around, he actually did do something about the results if he wasn't doing too good. In Big Angel's case, you could say that we were far too ahead in Europe to actually do anything about him that might jeopardize our chances in the final. And thankfully, Daniel Levy didn't pull the trigger the way he did over Jose in favor of Ryan Mason before that League Cup final against Chelsea. But in Thomas Frank's case, well, sad to say, I think he shouldn't have lasted beyond Christmas. He shouldn't even be our manager going into the new year. But unfortunately, we've had to deal with a month and a half of him before the North London derby. And here we are now in the league position that we rightly deserve for not having signed players a whole lot sooner, whether in the summer transfer window or whether in the January transfer window, which ended just over a month ago, when we somehow managed to sell Brennan Johnson without actually getting a replacement for him when we still had injuries to the likes of Richarlison, Odebeer, and occasionally to Matthijs Tel. And I really do hope, I really do hope that Conor Gallagher also does come good in due time, because as you rightly mentioned earlier, we are very lacking in the creative department. There's absolutely no outlet. There's no creativity. There are no exciting passages of play for us to build upon. Is just lumping the ball forward. And everything that I've just said in the past 5 minutes, when does it all end? When are we going to actually see some actual change that is tangible and practical in the long term? Not just for a month or two with a new manager bounce or even a new signing, but actual change for the long term. This is why I urge Pochettino, if I could put a good one in for him, I would advise him against coming back. But the way we are right now and the way things are moving around us, whether we like it or not, I would have to say that the likes of Aston Villa, even now Brentford and Bournemouth or even Fulham, they have stolen a much over us. If you look at the league table, the past 2 seasons now, and until we actually do something drastic rather soon, unfortunately, it's going to be more of the same after this season. And if reports are to be believed, and that the likes of Romero, if he's not going to be staying on beyond this season, even Van der Ven or anyone else, again, all this is merely speculation, but yeah, I can see players getting frustrated. And Kuti Romero's social media posts very recently, before he was suspended, saying that he was rather disappointed that we still haven't reinforced, or rather certain expectations and promises made by the board weren't realized. That will go a long way to telling us just how much unrest there is in the dressing room. I'm not going to go too much on about this because I know we still have to preview Fulham, and kickoff is in just under 3 hours from now, if I'm reading the time correctly. So that's all I have to say for now. But fingers crossed again, Jose. I really do hope that today, the 1st of March, would be the first league win for us against Fulham in the second of 3 consecutive London derbies. And I will give my prediction later on after we've done all the previews, and maybe even ask the people in the chat to give us their score predictions later on. But yeah, there's so much to be done and undone as well. And I'll go later into this as well when I preview Fulham. Why I said there's a lot to be undone in terms of the shift in mentality and tactics. But without further ado, straight back to you, Jose.
I'm going to bounce off a lot that you've said, and I'm going to throw some things back at you a second. But anyway, I've gifted out a further 5 channel memberships, and these have gone to Just a Harmless Potato, who's here in the chat already, or was in the chat. He's received one. Coffee has received one, so that'd be Ben has received one as well. Adam Paul Galiska, who has one of the best surnames that I love. I love Galiska as a surname. And I spoke to Adam, he was on our show, one of the shows last week. Drew Zilla has also received one. It's been a while since I've seen Drew. And Martin Knightsbridge, it was his birthday last week, Martin, who's out in Spain. But well done, you 5 people. So that's 10 memberships today that have been given out. And hopefully, people will make do of them. Dan says Conte and Ange didn't get the proper transfer budgets like Frank had. Destiny says Ant spent 400 million though. Destiny says I want nothing. I want nothing and number one but Poch. But sources have come out from the Poch's team to say that he hasn't even spoken to the club in years. Destiny says I pray that Poch comes home. Dan says that there has been talk about ex-Newcastle director Amanda Staveley interested in buying Levy's shares. From what I've read online, Dan, they're saying that they're actually saying that Staveley and her husband have actually got the money to buy the club, not just the shares, but the club. But I think they've only saying that they've got just over 3 billion, but the club look like they're greedy and waiting out for 4. Dan then says De Zerbi's available as well. Ghosted London's here. Says big up, gents. Good morning to you, Ghosted. I hope you're well. If De Zerbi signs, it will end like Conte's destiny, and that he will call up the club big time. And his words are, "This club." Dry roasted peanut. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, dry roasted. Been a while since I've seen you, sir. Says a win today, we can breathe a bit more easily. Vindaloo has popped in, flexing his 13-month member chat, saying, Jose and Chan, good luck at the cottage. Come on, Fulham. Dry roasted is saying that I look like a gangster in that thumbnail that's behind us. Oh, do I really? Ooh. Um, And then you've got Chris. Good morning, Mr. Agambar. You've got Chris here. Says, big up Jose and Mr. Chang. Good morning, Chris. Nita is here. Good morning, Nita. She says, good morning, Jose and Chang. Hope you're both well. And she says hi to all in the chat. Jack. Good morning, Jack. I hope you're well. Says, welcome back, Jose. How you been? Jack, I've been really well. I've been back, and we've been doing predictions for the last 2 weeks, Jack. So if you want to get involved, again, we're doing predictions for next week tomorrow at 4 o'clock. So that's if you want to get involved again, because all we've done is we've picked up from where we left off. So yeah, well done, everyone. Now, a few things to say to you, Chang. When you talked about breaking wage structures, Staveley's got the money to buy the club. We're going to spend so much money this summer in the transfer window. Do you know what happens Thursday week, Chang? Not this
Thursday
Thursday.
weeks.
Yeah, so this Thursday we play Crystal Palace. Do you know what happens the following Thursday?
Are we playing Atletico Madrid?
No, that's on the following Tuesday away. But the
Okay.
following, okay, I'll give you an idea. The following Thursday, season ticket renewals.
That's interesting. Okay. Thank you
So,
for
so
bringing
all
that.
of a so all of a sudden, the fish are out with their rods, yeah, and social media's abreast with all this different type of information. A lot of it, in normal circumstances, would be positive, and if you didn't have a mind for yourself, it would lead you down positivity. I'll go and get myself a season ticket. So a lot of this, and this is where I'll go back to the social media aspect of everything. Back in the day, we'd have a conversation and we'll make our own minds up about things. But now you're being influenced, you know. Um, so the renewals have been announced, the dates for the renewals. No sooner were the dates for the renewals announced than all this stuff started coming out about, yeah, we're going to break wage structures. Yeah, we're going to go big in the summer. Oh, we've got a 400 million war chest. Amanda Staveley wants to buy the club. Everything has come out at the time that they announced that the season ticket renewals start from the 12th of March. And I can't remember the day it finishes, but you've got to indicate from the 12th of March onwards. So for me, just on that alone, we don't know what division we're going to be in. So a price for a season ticket must be a price when you're in the Premiership. But if you're in the Championship, that season ticket must drop in price because you haven't got all these Category A games. You haven't got all these Category B games. In fact, there'll all be Category D games, if anything. So, yeah, there's a lot that goes on and a lot that comes out. The other thing about social media I wanted to ask you, Chan, is since whilst Thomas Frank was there and whilst every manager's been there, there's always comments that are putting out in social media because everybody wants to be Fabrizio Romano. Everybody. So whether it be transfers or whether it be insider knowledge, everyone wants to play at being an ITK. Yeah. So lately we've had comments come out, or I don't know if you've seen, but I've read stuff from the minute Frank had left, or before he left. Frank's lost the dressing room. The senior leadership are not behind him. Frank then leaves the club, and it's certain players took the piss, wouldn't turn up to training on time, always came late, blah 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 blah. Right? Then you've got Igor Tudor's come in, and Igor Tudor's like supposedly saying to everybody, yeah, sorry, supposedly inside the club and not outwardly to the press and to the media and whatever, he's absolutely appalled at what he's found at the club, um, the training methods, the fitnesses of people, the attitudes of players. Um, there's a lot of stuff going on. Now, if we were to believe everything that's being said, then we are in serious dire problems. Now, in the games that I've been to, and I've been to many, many games this season, being a season ticket holder, I think I've only missed 3 games all season. And in all the games I've been to, has the fight been there? I believe the fight has been there. No, I do. From watching in the stadium, I think the fight has been there. But what I feel is that we lack numbers, we lack personnel. We have exhausted our players over and over and over again. Not just this season. I think the exhaustion of players has started at least 2 years ago when Ange was there, because Ange would play with all the injuries. Ange wouldn't pick any of the fringe players. He wouldn't pick the youngsters and give them 15 minutes here and 10 minutes there to give people's bodies a rest. He just flogged people until they kept getting injured. And I think this is a continuation, even this season with Frank. I think it's a continuation where we've now got 3 years worth of evidence of players being overused, overburnt, not bringing other people in to help out, i.e., last season, for some of the games on the bench, we had Mikey Moore at times. You had Will Lancashire at times. You had Alfie Dorrington at times on the bench, and it was like these defenders. Last year we had a real big problem with our defenders, didn't we? And when the defenders that were out, and then other defenders were getting injured, instead of giving Alfie Dorrington 15 minutes here, to give someone a 15-minute rest, which is absolutely important. When you're looking at red zones and green zones, it's important. Even 15 minutes can be the difference, right? And that you weren't doing it. Mikey Moore wasn't being given opportunities to come off the bench and play for 10, 15 minutes. Will Lancashire, when we had problems up front last year, and in the end, these players suffer burnout. And I believe, from what I've been watching, the players are trying, but they're just complete. They've got no gas, they've got no energy, they've got no petrol. As Tudor's just said, we've got to put petrol back in the tanks, and that's what I felt all season, that we've got that. I don't think it's the players not wanting to try, and then also as well, I think it's the tactics. The tactics that we've adopted and that we've used so far make players that are average, or players that are decent, or players that are very good, make them look far worse than what they actually are. I mean, I've watched Conor Gallagher since he signed for us, and I made a comment in someone's chat, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago or last week or whatever, and I've said, has Conor Gallagher got a twin called Clive? Or can be Colin. It can be any other C name for someone, right? So the C Gallagher that played for Crystal Palace, Chelsea, and Atletico is not the same C Gallagher that we have at Tottenham. Now, we've either got his twin, or the tactics that they've chosen make him look a far worse player than what he actually is. Now, the instance that I'll give, or the very latest instance, against Arsenal, right? And it's not just against Arsenal. I've seen him do it against other teams as well. Gallagher's been played just behind the striker, or they've played Gallagher in a wide area, right? And Gallagher has initiated the press. And Gallagher gets there because he's doing the press, because Gallagher's quite a fit, robust player, can get around. He's very energetic. He's committed himself to the press. He's led the press. He then looks to his left. He looks to his right. There's no one pressing with him. The press only works if you go as one. If you only go as one person, the press doesn't work. And he's made to look absolutely stupid. And he ends up looking far worse footballer than what he actually is, because others around him, whether it's they don't follow the tactics, or whether it's that they haven't got any gas, you know. And what I want, and I'll say this for today's match, Chang, what annoyed me against Arsenal, and what's annoyed me pre-Arsenal, is, and what annoyed me last season, and what annoys me with Tottenham all the time, is that we are so lopsided as a team and squad, that every manager that we seem to have and this includes Frank, who's supposedly a great tactician, they stick round pegs into square holes. Last week against Arsenal, and this is before people say hindsight. Before the game, when I saw the lineup, I was like, okay. So Saka's playing on the right hand side for Arsenal. We understand that, but on the left, he picks Jed Spence as left wing back. We've bought a young boy called Souza from Brazil, whose actual position is left. Left. He's left-footed. Left. So I was thinking to myself, why haven't they played Souza at left back? I know he's new to the league, but the reason that I have is that Souza's been playing in the Brazilian Championship for 2 seasons now. He's only 19, but he's been playing 2 years. Okay, so the pace of football might be slightly different in the Premiership to what it is in Brazil. But the players that play football in Brazil are far stronger than the players that play in the Premiership. When you play in Brazil, it's a war. Every game is a war. You have what they call hatchet men in Brazil. That hasn't changed. Brazil, silky, skillful footballers, but they are made of steel. They've got hatchet men. So this kid has been playing against hatchet men for 2 seasons, yet can't be put in to play left back, which is the position that he plays and the position he's bought for. I would have played him at left back. At right wing back, why would I put Archie Gray there? I'd put Jed Spence there because that's more natural to Jed Spence to play on the right hand side. And then when you're looking at a back three, if he wants to play a back three, you've got your destroyer. Your destroyer and Paulinho. I'm not sure whether you saw. Did you see the monster tackle Paulinho made in the midfield against us? Right. That's what you need him there for. You need Paulinho in the midfield crunching Rice, crunching Zubamendi, winning the balls there. If you had him and Gallagher there feeding off each other, it would have made us far stronger in the middle of the park. And then, so for the right berth at centre back, you could have played Archie Gray there. Archie Gray, who plays more naturally in the midfield, obviously, but did a job at centre half for us last year. You could have played him there, which then means you give Paulinho the opportunity to play in midfield. All these things I felt before the game should have happened, didn't happen, and Spence got roasted. Spence had the same trick all the time. Spence kept getting the ball, and then he turns his back on the ball to try and shield the ball. 2 players, Saka was going on to him, and then Timber was going on to him. And then because he's pressured and he's got nowhere back to go to, can't go to the side, what he tries to do, he tries to do a Cruyff turn when there's 2 players on him, and he kept losing the ball. It happened over and over and over again because he's right footed playing on the left hand side. So there was no out for him. So play him in his proper position. Now, today against Fulham, you're quite right. Supposedly, we've got Porro and Danso who are back available for selection. I use them words loosely because when Tottenham lose a player, they lose a player for 9 months. So he's got a little stub toe and he's out for 9 months. So I'm going to use this loosely because I don't know what happened to them. I don't know what they were injured about. But, an injury that's meant to be a small toe ends up 9 weeks. So, or even 9 months. So if that's the case today, right? My preferred lineup today would be you play Souza at left, you play Danso at the back if you're playing the 3, and on the right hand side, you make a choice. You either stick Porro there or you stick Jed Spence there and then put Porro into a midfield 3. And that is putting square pegs into round holes, but you need to have creative players on the park. Now, if you've got the likes of Richarlison and Solanke and Moani, my old saying is you need to feed the beast, right? So these 3, whoever, whether it be one of or 2 of, I doubt it would be all 3, you need to feed them. You need to provide ammunition for them. You need to load their gun with bullets. Give them the bullets, they'll fire. And the only way you can do that is by getting creative players on the pitch. So I'm just hoping that today that we put a team out that's more akin to people playing in the positions that they're comfortable playing in and not just shoehorned for the sake of it. And we've done this for the last 3 years, Chang, in my eyes, at least the last 3 seasons. Sorry, I did go on a bit.
So, if you are ready to preview the Fulham game, I believe you might have already chosen your back line. I think the only thing that we need to do now is to sort of guess what kind of midfield Igor Tudor is going to put out, as well as the forward line, which I think
What,
should
no, what,
consist
do- what
of.
do you think? What do you think the five? If he's going to play five at the back, who do you think he'll play? I mean, I'm telling you my preferences. That doesn't mean he's going to play what I said. I know what he's going to play, and what he's going to play. Sousa won't be in that lineup. I know that already. But I know what I would do because I don't want to shoehorn players.
I'm guessing Destiny Udogi won't be back anytime soon, which means that either one of Dragushin or Benaven, if it's available, or even Denso, is going to have to deputize uh, as a centre back in partnership of maybe again one of those which I mentioned earlier, Van der Ven or Dragushin. So if the centre back pairing is going to be, say, Van der Ven, if he's still going to be captaining the team today, with probably Denso beside him if he's fit, which means I really hope we get to see Horo back at right back. But again, the left back, I think it would have to be Archie Gray. Realistically, if we don't think that Souza is ready, having just made the switch over from Santos in Brazil, so my back four would consist of Archie Gray at left back,
He doesn't play
a
with a
centre
four, Chang. He plays with a five.
five. Okay,
Yeah, he
so
plays
or even better still.
three centre backs and two wing backs is what he plays. That's the system he plays.
So if it's three centre backs, even better still, throw Denso, Dragushin, and Van der Ven as the three centre backs. Archie Gray and Poro to act as the wing backs or the full backs for us that push up forward. That would mean Conor Gallagher and probably I would say Bissouma as the two holding midfielders or centre midfielders. And once you have those two there, that will only leave say Kolo Muani. I'll put Kolo Muani up again to see if he can build on his goal tally or rather his solitary goal from last Sunday. And probably Simons. I will put Simons out wide on the left, assuming Tell or even Odebeer is available on the right. So we will keep.
Odebert's out till April, maybe May.
Okay, so if Odegaard is out long term, it's going to be Tell then. No one else other than Tell for us on the right. So it's Tell on the right, Xavi Simons on the left. Hopefully, he will do some good pinging crosses in to either Solanke or Kolo Muani. But if I had to pick, I would pick Kolo Muani. I mean, it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless for him to just only get his first goal in the league for us last Sunday and not be picking up from where he left off. So yeah, that would be my front three of Simons on the left, Kolo Muani up front, and Tell to the right. And the
Okay,
midfield
so
duo with
sorry, you said that in the midfield you would play Gallagher and Bissouma.
yes,
You said who your five at the back are, and you'd play three up
yes.
top, which is Simmons, Moani, and who was your third one?
Tell on the right.
Okay. Where's Paulinho?
Paulinia would be a substitute for either one of Conor Gallagher or Bissouma, assuming that that's what Igor Tudor is going to start off with today. But if Bissouma doesn't get the nod ahead of Paulinia, then it would be Paulinia starting alongside Conor Gallagher.
Okay. Because I would play, me personally, I would play Paulinho, Gallagher, Simmons in the midfield. And then up top, I'd play with the two. I keep saying two. And the two can be two of any four, Chang. It can be Richie, it can be Moani, Solanke, and Tell. Personally, Solanke for me's got to be up there. Although he will favour, what's his name? He will favour Moani, I think, because he likes Moani. But I would play Solanke. Now, you could play Solanke Moani. You could play Solanke Richarlison. where Richarlison could then drop to the left as defending, but when you're attacking, you go into a two, if that makes sense. But then equally, you could play Solanke with Tell up top with him. So, you know. But sorry, let me just say, Steve D's here. Good morning, Steve D. Steve D, this is how I started the show. He says, morning all, count our blessings that relegation is our biggest fear. The world is a crazy place. I did start the show this morning by wishing all civilians and all personnel all the very best and that they're safe and sound. And that these conflicts come to a swift conclusion. Albeit, I did say that the Russian Ukrainian one's been going on for 4 years. If you look at just the attack 4 years ago, but if then you look at the Donbass region, then this has been going on for about 11, 12, 13 years. So you just want it all to stop. It's just absolute madness. And Sir Rob is in the house. Good morning, everyone, except Vindaloo. Rob, I hope you are well. It's been a while, mate, but I hope you are well. It's really nice to see some old, and I don't mean old in age, I'm talking about in not seeing these people for a long time. It's nice to see some of these positive people that make me smile, people in the chat. And that's what I like to see. Sorry, Chang. Carry on.
Yeah, so assuming that would be our starting 11, the players that we just mentioned, that actually leaves very little to pick from the bench. If we do need to call upon the bench, I'm sure we will still have Pepe Matassar on in reserve, alongside maybe some of the youngest, the Oluwaseis,
That would leave you Souza. That would leave you
Souza.
Laughing Gas. That would leave you Pat Matassar. That would probably leave two, Matthias Tell and one other, because if he plays two, then two are going to be on the bench. That gives you 5 substitutes already before you even start looking at the youngsters.
I think that also includes Kinski. Kinski as
No,
the backup goalkeeper.
I've not included Kingsley. That would make 6
Okay.
first teamers.
So yeah, you have your Oluwaseis or some of the other youngsters.
Williams
Vital,
Barnett,
Vital, yeah.
Junior Byfield,
Junai,
Byfield.
correct.
If he's back
Yeah.
from injury, because he's been injured.
So I mean, if you look at the bench, I think we are still operating kind of wafer thin, which is why I would actually which is actually why I started with a Bissouma ahead of Paulinia. I honestly feel that we need to rotate between Paulinia and Conor Gallagher now, assuming that our midfield is going to be the key factor in keeping us up, not the defense. Not the defense, not the goals that our forward line is going to outscore the opposition, but rather the midfield, just so they can hold everything from falling apart before we actually do get in a serious relegation scrap. We have to remember we have a midweek game coming up against Palace, and we have to sort of find a way to keep everyone fresh. Hopefully, we won't pick up any more unnecessary injuries or red cards, because we can ill afford any more unnecessary suspensions to the team. And if it means just playing it safe, and this is also why this is also why this will affect my prediction later of why I say I want to play it safe rather than to go all out and treat this like a cup final and force upon us unnecessary injuries or suspensions. So keep it simple, keep it back to basics, put this way, in footballing terms. Don't overcomplicate matters. If you can play man-to-man football rather than pinging the ball long or over the top, and just hope for our forwards to make something out of nothing, then I think we should be able to avoid defeat today. Again, I will keep my prediction later, but I really am hoping to see more fight from the players. I don't think the travel to Craven Cottage would sap too much energy out of them on their away travels. And I also hope for more of the same in terms of our attacking output. Whether we do actually see another goal today, I really hope the forwards actually show what has been missing, what has been sorely lacking from Thomas Frank's approach on match days. And yeah, fingers crossed, Jose. Fingers crossed that we finally keep a clean sheet for as long as I can remember in the league, and also hopefully you never know. We might even scrape our first league win for the calendar year 2026, however long it's taken us to get there. Having said that, straight back to you if you want to start with the predictions now that it's been just over an hour into the show.
I've only seen Tottenham win twice at the stadium this season, and that was Burnley 3-0 at the start of the season, and the last time we won at the stadium, and our last victory in the Premiership was a 2-0 win against Brentford on the 4th of December. They're the only two times I've seen Tottenham win at the stadium, and it was the last win in the Premiership was December. Today, it just so happens today's the 1st of March. So that makes it 4 months since we last won a game, only because we've ticked into March. It would have been 3 months had we done this show yesterday, because it was still February. But now that we've ticked into March, it makes it 4 months. So one day makes a month's difference. So for me, like I say, I keep going on about this. I just don't want to see the scrap that we're in, right? Let's be fair about this. The scrap that we're in, West Ham have got near enough a full squad to pick from. So have Forest. The ones that people are going to say already down, Burnley, full squad to pick from. Wolves, full squad to pick from. Crystal Palace seem to have a full squad to pick from near enough. You know, Brighton seem to have a full squad. Everybody, the one thing that they've got over Tottenham at the moment is everyone seems to have more players to pick from. In the sense, when I say more players, I'm talking first teamers, not relying on your 18 and your 19-year-olds like we're having to do at the moment. However, with that being said, you've got the deck that you're given. It's the hand that you hold at the start of the season. You know that you have to hold that hand for the rest of the season. So we would have known by hook or by crook what our squad looked like at the start of the season. We had opportunity in January to change that and affect that. I'm still at a loss that we lost 7 injuries in the first week of January. 7 injuries. Let that sink in. We lost 7 players at the start of January. Yet the club said, no, we don't need a reinforcement. No, it's too difficult. No, you can't do deals. No, short term weren't going to help us. Well, again, I'm going to go back to social media, Chang. There's a lot of posts being put out there about Ademola Lookman being offered to Tottenham over and over and over again. And he's gone to Atletico Madrid, and I think he scored something like, I don't know, 7 goals and 6 assists since he's been at Atletico Madrid. Someone that could have really helped our front line, but Tottenham chose not to pursue him. Tottenham actually chose not to pursue anyone. Yes, deals are no, and I take it for granted. Deals are harder because you're fishing in a different pool in January, but to say there's no deals out there is a load of codswallop. West Ham went and bought 5 players. And do you know what? No shit, Sherlock. Their formers have been a bit transformed since they got these 5 players. Yeah, they got beat yesterday, but they've picked up a lot of points recently from having these players come into the club. So we didn't do that in January, and now the hand that that we've got is we have injuries. Now we have to manage the players that we've got and hope that if we manage them correctly and manage their minutes correctly, then that these players can get us through till the next batch of players come back and also pick up some points on the way through. Now, the title of the show is Battling Weekend So Far. The reason why I've put that down as Battling Weekend So Far is because I saw Wolves beat Villa 2-0 on Friday. So a team that people have already said already relegated, putting in fight, picking up points, right? Then you've got Burnley yesterday. I mean, I haven't seen the highlights, but listening to the game, how that ended up 4-3 to Brentford, I'll never know. I think Burnley had 2 goals disallowed in that game. But Burnley, who for all intents and purposes, another team that they're saying is down, they battled 3-4, they ended up losing. Then you look at teams like West Ham. Yeah, West Ham got beat yesterday, but West Ham have been battling up until now. Leeds United were beaten 1-0 yesterday, but Leeds United weren't bad apparently against Man City. So they've battled. So, the one thing that all these clubs have over Tottenham at the moment is that they have more players to choose from. We need to manage what we've got now till more players come back. And from now, we're going to have to nurse them to the end of the season. Because if you like, 16 first team players at the moment, because we've ruled it off that if you play an 11, then you're going to have 5 left on the bench. Sorry, you can have 6 left on the bench if you include the goalkeeper, Kinski. The next set of players coming back, supposedly in the dates, don't come back till April. April is at least 4, 5, 6 weeks away, depending what dates that they're due back in April. And to players like that, you're looking at Bergvall, you're looking at Kudus. They're the kind of players that you're looking for in April. God knows what's going to happen. It's quite interesting because stories coming out on social media are that Graham Potter says that he reckons that they're going to have Kulusevski for the playoff match. I think they've got the Ukraine or someone like that. But he reckons that he's confident they're going to have him for the playoff match. However, Tottenham are not giving him a return date. So will Kulu appear before the end of the season? Who knows? Maddison, is he going to appear? But then these players have had such bad injuries that you're never going to come back and be the player from day one, hit the ground running. It's going to take you time to build your legs, build your muscles back. Get all the flexes and that. So who knows what's going to happen with these players? So basically, it's going to be tough for Tottenham, but the only way that you can get past this is if we strung Chang, if we won today, right? Which I hope we win because I'm a supporter. If we won today and we beat Palace, 6 points. 6 points takes us to what, 35, 36 points. That makes a big difference. That could be not far from giving you enough points to stay up for the season. So, yeah, it's just about managing the players today and also managing the players against Crystal Palace. If Crystal Palace, as I said, we haven't won at the stadium. I haven't seen us win since the Brentford game. And Palace is an 8 o'clock kickoff in the evening. I'm going with me and my daughter are going to that game on Thursday. It's a late kickoff, and it means that I won't be home till like just 2 o'clock in the morning or something from the game. But we go, support, we'll cheer, we'll sing, and let's see if we can bring 3 points home on Thursday. But today's game is important. Rob has already said, so Rob's coming with 1-3, so Rob's positive. And earlier you had Destiny saying 2-1 to Tottenham. For me, Chang, I never, ever, ever back my side to lose a game at all. In fact, I don't even remember the last time I backed my side to draw. I've always gone for a win, regardless. Now, if people know me well, I do a predictions league, and I'm actually leading in the predictions league, both online and the one that I do on the show. And I've always backed Tottenham to win, and I'm leading. So imagine if I'd gone properly and didn't mind over heart, then I might even be further ahead than what I am now. But anyway, today, do you know what I'd like? I'd like to win 5-0 away. That's what I'd love to do. And then make it nice and easy, 5-0 away, no injuries, players play well, and that takes you into the next game. However, that's what I'd love in an ideal world. 5-0 away would be brilliant. But I've settled for the prediction that I did on Friday on my show. I've gone for a 2-1 win. Am I confident? No, I'm not confident because of what I've seen this season. I'm not confident, but I need and want our team to win. If we can take a bit of what Everton did yesterday at Newcastle, and they got a 3-2 victory, if we could do anything like that, I'd be most happy. A 1-0 win would satisfy me. In an own goal, in off I don't know, in off someone's backside, in off someone's hip. I'd take anything. We just need 3 points. I'd settle for a point, but we need 3 more than we need 1. So for me, Chang, I've gone for a 2-1 victory. But that's more hope than belief.
So since you've gone for your 2-1 prediction, I'm going to give you mine. And I will stand by the prediction I made over on the perfect match, which I think I saw you on Friday, I think it was, at noon or was it the previous weekend? I can't even remember now. It's so many episodes over there which I've done before we finally do this 30th episode of Jose and Chang. But I'm sticking to my one-off prediction. And the reason why I made this one-off prediction is that I just want us to pick up our first points or even a single point with Igor Tudor. Anything more than a draw would be a big bonus, given, as I mentioned, how long it's been since we last won our last league game. Uh, I mean, let's be honest here. Any point right now against any opposition would be welcome relief, just so we can get off this losing streak. Because if we don't get a win soon, then the game against Forest is most likely going to be a relegation playoff between us and Forest. But I am not going to even go as far as that. I will just focus solely on what I think should be one of the better chances we've had in recent months to finally avoid defeat on the road. And I also expect us to pick up, at the very least, a goal today, if not two. But if you ask me, I think we should be good for a goal. Are we good for a clean sheet to accompany our solitary goal? I think it's a bit too fast, or rather, it's too soon to actually see some consolidation at the back, seeing as how Dragoshin and even Danso are just only getting to play together again for a good long while now. But I will take any scrappy point against Fulham, even if it's a dull goalless draw. I will even settle for that. But I'm sticking with my 1-all prediction. I really want to see Kolo Muani get his second consecutive league goal, if that's possible. If not, I couldn't care less where the goal comes from. It could be an own goal, it could be a penalty, it could be a set piece, a corner, even an own goal, or even a ghost goal. I will take a ghost goal if it means avoiding defeat, and that's what I will go for, a 1-all draw. But yeah, anything more than a point would be a big bonus for us, even though it's an undeserved bonus. But I couldn't care less. This is the you could say that we are now at the business end of the season, where the title contenders have already taken shape. I think it's going to be a big toss-up between City and Woolwich, and even the chasing pack for top four, even top five. That is also shaping up nicely. The mid-table teams, they are pretty much all but they are all but certain of a survival. I think there's nothing else to say except for us now. Ye old Tottenham, are we still going to finish 17th for a second consecutive season? I would take any sort of finish as long as it's not relegation. And let's start that by avoiding defeat today, which I think will go a long way to saving our premiership status. But let us know in the chat, anyone who's still listening in, anyone who's still with us right now, what are your predictions? And if you even have goal scorers, you're going to predict any goal scorers, please do let us know in the chat. Having said that, back to you, Jose.
Yeah, anyone else, give us your predictions for today and we'll read them out. Chang, when Man City win the league this year, right, what then happens to Mr. Arteta?
I couldn't care less, honestly, Jose.
Oh,
It
no, no,
could
no, no,
be.
no, no, I'm just asking a question. What do you think? Because do
I
you think
think
that
there's.
do you think they'll come to a crossroads? Because is it the Premiership's the holy grail for them? Do they come to crossroads? Because I'm not even including any other competition. I'm just talking about Man City win the league this year. What happens to Arteta? Do they,
There was.
do they still support him? Do they still back him? Do they go again for the league? I mean, or do they say, right, we believe that we've supported you, we've given you all the funds for the last 6 years, we've done everything you've wanted, yet you can't deliver that league title for us. What are your thoughts? Where would you sit on it?
If I were neutral, and I'm really, and my what I'm going about saying, what I'm going to say next is totally from a neutral perspective,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
as a Spurs fan. I will stick with him. I
you
will
would.
trust the process. I would, yes, because everything that they are doing this season, it's still theirs to lose. The title is still theirs to lose, and if it lets slip again for whatever reason, whatever purpose, then I think it just shows that the league is a whole lot close. It's a lot tighter and harder to win as compared to maybe when Leicester City somehow managed to beat the odds and do it themselves over around a decade or so ago in 2016. But I would very much stick with him because look at what he's doing over at N7. They finished top of the Champions League. They are now in the League Cup final. They are very much in contention for another domestic cup in the FA Cup, and I think it's still theirs to lose, as I mentioned earlier in the Premiership. So they're challenging on all fronts. They could end up with any number of silverware, but going back to this discussion of should Woolwich still stick with him even if they don't win a Premiership this season? Yes, I would say stick with him. Give him maybe a few more players to balance it up because I know Eberechi Eze hasn't exactly been tearing it up despite him coming out as a lifelong Arsenal supporter, and that his transition from Selhurst Park to the Emirates shouldn't be too difficult given that he's still in very much in London. But if he's not working out, then maybe someone else to help out in midfield. But I would still very much stick with him. Maybe the one big sticking point for them is the forwards department because let's be perfectly honest, even as a Spurs fan, I wouldn't say that Gyökeres is doing what's expected to him. I will even go so far to say that Solanke has actually been a lot more prolific for us since he joined last season compared to Gyökeres. But you never know. You never know how things might progress for Gyökeres as this season comes to an end now, or how he might even improve beyond this season. I would still give Arteta time if I were one of the board of directors. Having said that, back to you, Senor Garcia.
Fair enough. That's fair enough. I'm just thinking to myself, Chelsea got quite a few injuries today, but if they drop points against Chelsea today, and Man City have still got to play Arsenal at home, I think Man City win the league. So there we go. And the double that I'm looking for today is 3 points Tottenham and Arsenal dropping points today. That's the double I'm looking for. But there we go. Right, Chang, we've come to the end of the show. We've come to the end of the show. When are you around next? Are you appearing on any shows this week, or are you
Uh,
doing predictions on Kate's show this week? Because the matches start on Tuesday, don't they?
yeah. So I think they might do something of a charity stream next weekend in support of a Legends on the Bench or Legends of
Okay.
the Bench, whatever
Yeah,
you describe that.
Legends on
Yeah,
the
so
bench. Yeah.
they're going to do a charity stream. I don't think that we're going to do any predictions because it's going to be FA Cup weekend next week.
No,
So
no,
no
no.
prediction.
There's midweek games start on Tuesday. That's what I said.
Yes,
You
there
do
is.
need. Oh, I,
Yes.
okay.
So I don't think we're doing any midweek predictions, but I have to get my midweek predictions in by today, as
Ah,
Miss Kate has
yeah,
informed
yeah.
us all by chat group yesterday. So there won't be any prediction shows for match week 29, the midweek games, and hopefully by next Friday, or rather the 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 Friday after next, we will then pick up our Friday predictions show at noon. That will be for the is it the Forest game? I think it's the Forest game, right? After Palace. So yeah, we have that coming as well. So yeah, it's going to be a very very interesting preview show the following Friday. But from between now until then, I really really do hope that the next two London derbies, starting from 2 p.m. today, against Fulham at Craven Cottage, we have some joy against them, followed by the
The next game,
the
the
game
next game
against
after
Palace.
Palace is
Mm-hmm.
Atletico Madrid on the Tuesday, and then the following Sunday it's Liverpool Tottenham.
Oh, Liverpool. Okay, so
Then,
Liverpool
then
first
we then
before they
we
play
have
for.
then we have the return game against Atletico Madrid, and then we have Nottingham Forest at home on the 22nd of March. So 3 weeks today is the home game against Forest.
So the next time we do a preview would be against Liverpool then. I
Yeah,
think we'll be doing the preview before we play Liverpool. I think
yeah.
that's going to be a cruncher as well. Uh, I'm not even going to think that far ahead. I just want us to avoid defeat tonight. And if we can do that, I'm positive that we will also be able to avoid defeat against Palace, because a lot of the fans, especially those who were very, very much against Thomas Frank, even before the league had begun, were saying how we should have gone for Oliver Glasner when he himself is floundering now with Palace. So I think that in itself says that don't put too much faith in managers that you've not seen manage your club before, which also then goes back to why I would say that Pochettino might be the only one that can actually get a tune out of us when every other club seems to be doing so much better than us. But thank you so much again, Jose, for having me back to do episode 30 of Jose and Chang. I'm so very glad now that I don't have to keep on defending Thomas Frank after after one disastrous result too many. And no, honestly, Jose, now that he's gone, I mean, not that I want any manager out, as long as we still have a manager, and I'm being dead serious here, we could have ended up. That's a very sad trombone. It's been a long time since I actually heard a sad trombone anywhere on talk shows or daytime TV or in movies or whatever.
But that's how
That's
you but that's how you felt. But now you feel
right now. I feel okay. If you have If you have the American Bugle charge when they will do those cavalry charges in the Civil War, that would be a sound effect that I would really like to use right now. The cavalry bugle during the Civil War. That is what we need now. We need Igor Tudor to rally the troops, rally the players, rally everyone together. Even this very, very fractured and divided fan base. Now that Thomas Frank is all but gone, and hopefully we pick up a result today, possibly another one again in midweek against Palace. We then have a full week's rest before we then go back to Madrid, which is a happy place for a lot of our Spurs fans. Look, seeing as how we did there last season for the Europa League. But yeah, Jose, fingers crossed that we avoid defeats again today. And looking forward to our next episode of Jose and Cheng after we've played Fulham today and Palace in midweek. Assuming you're going to do another show next Sunday, same place, same time.
yeah. Well, the thing is, the last time we visited uh, the Stadio Metropolitano was one European Champions League final where we lost 2-0. So I'm not sure whether the Madrid Stadium is the most happiest of hunting grounds for Tottenham, but I do understand your sentiment. And yeah, listen, thank you very much, Chang, for today. We will be back. We will be back. So just look out for when we stream. We normally do it on a Sunday morning, Chang and I. So look out for when we stream. Um, yeah, the final words are going to be it's always going to be if you pick up points, then it makes our position look better in the league. It makes us feel better as a fan base because we seem to have been on a losing streak for such a long time. So therefore, it makes everything far better if you can pick up points. Three are better than one, but still one is better than none, is what I'm going to say. So yeah, Shemtam says, okay, someone needs to take those buttons away from Mr. Bossman Jose. He's become consumed with the power of the mouse buttons. Yeah. And for that, I'm just going to say, there you go, Shemtam. That was all just for you, my man. That was all just for you. But yeah, no, thank you very much for people for watching and that. Yeah, it'll be good to catch up with you guys soon. I'm doing a show tonight, which is the prediction results, and tomorrow will be the prediction show for week 29. So I'll be doing that tomorrow. The results for week 28 will be tonight. And then I'm obviously going to be back Friday with the results show for week 29 because we don't play till Thursday evening. So, um, yeah, so watch out. So I'll be back. So just hit the notification bell. You know when I'm back. For some of the people that have been given memberships today, come back and play predictions. You're more than welcome to as a member. You're back tomorrow. You can start playing again. As we said, we're only picking up from where we left off, so nothing's changed. We haven't started all over again. So the points that you accumulated before will still count towards your points going forward in the future. And with that, Chang, your last words are, as always,
Come on, you Spurs!
and I
Thank you
echo,
very much, everyone. See you all soon.
I echo exactly what Chan said, and it's thank you very much, everyone, and it's come on, you Spurs. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Okay, I think that's it. Are we? No, are we still online? Are we still offline? It looks like we're still live, are we? Did Jose turn off the stream? Is the stream off or did he go offline? It looks like we're still live. Come on, you Spurs, everyone. Enjoy the game today if you're watching, and keep the faith in Igor Tudor. Hopefully, we stay up. But anything can happen from between now to the end of the season. I really do hope we have something positive to be discussing after 3 consecutive London derbies against Woolwich, Fulham, and Palace. Take care, everyone. Shang over and out from Southeast Asia.
Tell, Cockerel. He's just a true guy. You'll have a true time. Tell, Cockerel. Leave your troubles at the door. You know the game, you know the score. We're here to have fun, so holster that gun and read the writing on the wall. The predictions league, done every week. It just goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. Jose gets himself around. Always talking Spurs, wherever he is found, home or away. He always tips to win, throws the form book in the bin with a cheeky knowing grin. Tell, Cockerel. He's just a chill guy. You'll have a chill time. Tell, Cockerel. The Predictions League, done every week. It just goes on and on and on and on. Why do I always get it wrong? Every time I play along. Tell, Cockerel. The show is so chilled, your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at. Tell, Cockerel. goes on and 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 on. Why do I always get it wrong? El Tel, Cockerel. The show is so chill. Your time is well filled. If you want good friendly chat, then here's where it's at.